Hey there, and welcome to the She Calls Her Shots podcast. Every week, we chat through different business building topics that will help you gain clarity around your goals, find inspiration in your journey, and also help you create a life and a business that you love. My name is Krista, and I'm a wedding and brand photographer and your go-to no-fluff business coach. In these episodes, we talk through both the tactical strategies, habits, and the mindset work that will help you take those really big leaps. And we always focus on the real talk and the behind the scenes of what it takes to create a sustainable and a thriving business. Because let's be honest, the work isn't always glamorous, but it's always worth it. So girlfriend, let's make some moves and start calling our own shots. Hello, and welcome back to this episode of the She Calls Her Shots podcast. I am excited about this episode today because, like I always think about when I think about creating episodes for this podcast, I want this to feel like it's a journey that we're going on together. In full transparency, I'm here with my mic in my office. My dogs are laying on the couch. I have my glass of red wine right here and just ready to have an honest chat with you today about being a business owner. And the ebbs and flows and the waves and the peaks and the valleys and everything that we go through and kind of where I'm at right now. And the title of this episode, the things that I want to talk about today is how to reignite our motivation. And what I mean by that is when we experience a time in our business where we're really motivated, we're really excited, we have a lot of ambition and just a lot of things and moving parts and we feel really good. Obviously, that's kind of like, that's great, right? We all strive for those times. But if you're anything like me, those times are sometimes or maybe often followed by kind of those valleys, right? We go from that really high peak of feeling like everything's moving, momentum is there, things are going, we're living our best life. And then sometimes it just kind of sneaks right up on us where all of a sudden it just dips, right? And then all of a sudden we're like, where is that motivation? How come I can't find it? Why do I feel so frustrated? Why are things not working? And that's kind of the idea that I want to talk about today, because again, I want to keep it real with you because that's what this podcast is about, is I want to share all of the behind the scenes of what it takes to grow a business. And this is a very real aspect and something that we all go through. And so before we dive into this episode today, I do want to let you know that I currently have one, maybe two one-on-one spots available for one-on-one coaching. If you have been interested in working with a coach, if you are not really sure what it means to work with a coach, you can visit my website, heykristammarie.com, and learn more. But essentially, I work with clients one-on-one to help them find clarity behind their goals, to really get honest about where they are right now in their journey and helping them navigate through how they can find that motivation, how they can find that momentum, how we can work through all of these seasons that we go through. And so if you're looking to work with someone one-on-one, I would love to chat with you. I mostly work with women creative business owners. So if that's something that you are interested in, I would love to chat. And I also have spots in my group coaching program, Amplify. So you can learn more about that on the website as well. I've talked about it a lot on the podcast, but essentially Amplify is a space for creative business owners to come and to really learn how to simplify their business strategy, to gain more visibility, and grow more sustainably in their business. And inside of Amplify, we have group coaching calls. We have a private Facebook group so you can connect and grow with other business owners. But really the core belief behind Amplify and inside of my one-on-one coaching is reframing our beliefs and creating a business plan that fits around our life and that really evolves with us throughout each of the seasons of our life. So if that's something you've been thinking about or you've been looking for more support in that way, I would love to have a chat and see which option might be the best for you. I have different offers for different seasons and different, whatever season you might be in, there's likely something that we can find that will be a good fit for where you are. Also, a little side note, I haven't launched this anywhere. I haven't talked about this at all. It's a brand new offer that I just created today, actually. So you are the first to hear about it. But I will soon be launching a mentorship program specifically for photographers, and it will be a 1 year, so 12-month one-to-one mentorship program. And This is different from one-on-one coaching in that the support is going to be different, and the types of work that I do, there will be a lot of overlap around, of course, helping you reframe beliefs, helping you work towards your goals, helping you get clarity. But because I will specifically be working with other photographers, it will be a little bit more attuned to photography specific businesses. So if you've been looking for a specific photography mentorship, this program might be amazing for you. I don't have anything that I can send you to as far as a website or anything like that. But if you send me a message on Instagram, or if you send me an email, Krista@HeyKristaMarie.com, let me know that you're interested in it, then we can schedule a call and you can be the first to know and to learn all about it. But let's go ahead, let's dive into this episode today, where this idea came from. So as I mentioned, I like this to be a come with me, we're all on this journey together type podcast. So in the last few weeks, I feel like in my business, in my life, I went from this season of feeling super connected and integrated with myself. And I can always tell when I'm in this season because I just feel so full. I feel so in tune with myself as a human, with my needs. I take care of me. I do the things that I enjoy doing, and the business and the work kind of evolves around my life. And that's a key distinction there, right? Like my life doesn't revolve around my business in those seasons. My business revolves around my life. And I'm so in tune and integrated with doing my work, but also doing the things that feel really good for me. And when that happens, I'm overflowing with so much inspiration and thoughts and just ways to grow. And I just feel so connected that it overflows, and you can see it in my social media. You can see it in my content. Like it's just something where the content just flows out of me because I just feel so full. So I feel like I went from that season, and then I'm trying to think of what even happened. The thing that I think happened is I had a really kind of crazy week with photography sessions. I had, I think, 7 shoots in 10 days or something. I can't remember what it was. It was a lot. And I think I just hadn't set up proper boundaries. Like I shouldn't have scheduled 7 shoots in 10 days. And so I think I kind of went into survival mode that week of like, okay, I just need to get through all this. And I think that week, that's all it took for me to feel a little disconnected and to feel a little less integrated with myself. And so now over the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to figure out, how do I get back to that? How do I get back to that place of feeling really connected and integrated? And I feel like the content just flows out of me and everything feels so easy. And what I want to talk about today is kind of what I've learned through experiencing this, through recognizing this, through kind of even just understanding and reminding myself that this is part of the journey. This is normal. We all are going to experience this. There's no way for us to attain a perfect overflowing level of connectedness with ourselves from here until the end of time. So these seasons are going to happen. And so what I wanted to talk about is just what I'm kind of doing right now to get myself out of that and to start to reignite that motivation and inspiration. And so two to three of the things that I'm really focusing on first and foremost is number one, I am letting go of my strict strategy. And what I mean by that, and maybe you can relate to this, is when things are really connected and integrated and we're posting and we're sharing and everything feels good, we feel like the content is just flowing out of us. And then we kind of go into that valley. We dip into like not showing up. Let's say you go from posting every day on Instagram to all of a sudden you're not posting at all. What we tend to do is go into this overdrive mode of, okay, well now I have to go right back into sharing every single day. I need to have 5 Instagram posts. I need to have this content. And we force ourselves to try to be creative, but we end up focusing on the strategy so much without actually nurturing the creativity. So we're trying to force this creativity from us because we want this strict strategy. We think we really need to overcorrect. We need to go back into right where we were, but we don't really focus on the actual problem, which is the disintegration and the disconnection and the lack of creativity because we're feeling like we were in survival mode, or we feel frustrated, or something didn't work the way we want it to. And so we kind of have to spend time nurturing that back up before we can go back into strategy mode. So the first thing that I want to share with you, to encourage you to do if this is something that you felt, is get rid of that strategy. Get rid of the thing that you think you're trying to overcorrect for. If you think you need to post 5 times a day, if you think you need to share, a bunch of blog posts, or you need to get back on Pinterest, or whatever that is or that looks like for you, push pause and just let yourself know that the first thing that you want to do for yourself is reignite that inner creativity. And so the second thing that I'm doing is figuring out, what does that look like for me? And so I am thinking back to, okay, well, what was I doing during that time when I felt really full? So go back and look through. If you have it in your Instagram stories, if you shared things that you were doing, if you have a journal, go back and just get curious around what were the things that I was actually spending time on, not in my business, but for me. Was I going for walks? Was I taking afternoons off? Was I giving myself space at night to not work? Like, really just get curious on what those things were that you can do outside of your business to help fill yourself back up. And then the third thing that I'm doing right now is connecting myself more with people who talk about this kind of stuff. Because one thing I've noticed is that part of the reason why I think we are drawn to this overcorrection, this, I was showing up so much and now I'm not showing up at all, and now I really need to just like full steam ahead moving forward, is I noticed there were some people that I was following on Instagram. There were other coaches or other people in the industry who, that's kind of their methodology. That's what they teach. They have this really kind of hustle-based, show up on social. Like, it's just a lot of stuff that doesn't really resonate with growing a sustainable business. Like, the way that I work with clients, the way that I like to think about this for myself is, it doesn't matter if something is going to like get you a bunch of likes or a bunch of followers or whatever. If it doesn't feel good for you, if it's not in alignment with how you want to live and what you want your life to look like, you're not going to be happy. Your business could be thriving and you would still be really unhappy because there's no connection there on how you actually want to live your life. So I'm really getting intentional about who I'm spending my time with. And this doesn't have to be in person. I'm leaning more on my coach and my community and my people that I have in my corner who I know also adopt this type of methodology of how they run their business. And so I'm getting really intentional, especially in these, adjustment weeks, these first few weeks where you're really trying to get back into creative mode and get back into that place where it just feels really aligned and integrated. Be really intentional in those few weeks, who you're paying attention to, what you're consuming, and what you're allowing to fill your thoughts. Because the second we see someone doing something and all of those voices in our heads start saying, well, you should be doing that. This person's doing that. Look how much success they have. Look at how much they've grown. Look at what they're doing. We're going to go right back into that overdrive mode and overcorrect in a way that doesn't actually feel good and aligned or integrated. That was what I wanted to share today. Just a little bit of encouragement around this happens. We are going to have seasons where we feel a little disconnected from ourselves or our business, or we go from this really, really high peak to all of a sudden feeling like we're dropping and we don't even know what happened. Chances are there was something that happened that either put you into survival mode or triggered one of your fears or, was disconnected from one of your values. There's usually something that happens that kind of triggers that. And that's normal. And we're all going to go through it. But there are tools and things that we can do to help us correct in a way that's not an overcorrection, and correct in a way that actually feels good for us to get back on track with our goals and our, the things that we want to accomplish. So I hope that was helpful. As always, I'm just so honored and so thrilled that you are here spending time with me. And I look forward to chatting with you in the next episode. One last thing before you go, I'd absolutely love it if you left a review on Apple Podcasts. Or if you've already left a review, I'd love for you to share this episode with your business bestie. I love getting to shout out my listeners on the show, and the more listeners that we have, the more that I can help others create a thriving and sustainable business too. Thank you so much again for being a part of this community, and I can't wait to hear your takeaways from today's episode.